cholesterol is not always the enemy. We have to understand ketosis and we have to understand cholesterol. And I can tell you, your cholesterol may go up on a ketogenic diet, but it's an indicator that your body is mobilizing and utilizing fat. And that means you're losing weight. So hear me out through its entirety when I explain everything in this video as to how ketosis and cholesterol actually work. And I almost guarantee you're going to walk out of this video feeling a heck of a lot better about the ketogenic diet. So let's get right to the science. So you might be watching this video because you went on a low-carb, high-fat keto diet and you saw an increase in your cholesterol levels. Maybe your doctor's telling you that you're doing something terribly wrong. Maybe he's telling you you need to get off that ketogenic diet because your cholesterol levels are high. Maybe you're just scared. Maybe you're just concerned as to why they're higher. Or maybe you're trying to be proactive and trying to understand why they might get higher. Well, in this video, I'm going to help you understand that higher levels of cholesterol on a ketogenic diet could very well mean a very, very good and rather cool thing. You see, we have to remember that we're on a ketogenic diet. Everything is surrounding fats. We're eating a lot of fats. We're metabolizing fats. We're going to have more lipids and we're going to have more cholesterols in the bloodstream, plain and simple. We have to remember that. But what's interesting is that higher levels of cholesterol on a ketogenic diet are being linked and associated with weight loss. Believe it or not, once weight loss starts and fatty acid metabolism really kicks in, we see an increase in cholesterol. So it usually means that you're having an influx of weight loss occurring at that very point in time. You see, as fat starts to break down, cholesterol goes up. And it has to do with the fact that triglycerides are mobilized and they end up getting broken down into fuel, but the cholesterol just kind of hangs out. And the cholesterol doesn't really get burned for fuel. It's not metabolized like that. It's not energy. So what it does, it ends up sitting in the bloodstream, waiting to get recycled by the liver. It's not doing anything good or doing anything bad. It's just elevated. And it's usually indicative of the fact that your body is using a little bit more fat for fuel at that very point in time. So you will find it's a temporary increase. And once the weight loss starts to plateau a little bit and starts to slow down, your cholesterol levels will probably start to come down. You've probably seen an increase in both your HDL and your LDL. And it just has to do with the fact that both of them are mobilized. But on that note, we have to understand HDL and LDL and the relationship with ketosis. And once you understand this, everything's going to make a lot more sense, and I can almost guarantee you're going to come out of this video overall feeling a lot less stressed out about this situation. First off, HDL and LDL, they're not even cholesterols, okay? They're transport vehicles. They deliver cholesterols. So you've got high-density lipoprotein and low-density lipoprotein. Low-density lipoprotein, the bad cholesterol, delivers nutrients. It delivers cholesterol, delivers fat and fat-soluble nutrients to the cell, okay? Very important, but for some reason it gets a bad rap. Then we have HDL. HDL's job is to go around and pick up waste particles or used LDL, particles of LDL, and take them back to the liver for recycling. So somewhere along the lines, messages got kind of confused. For some reason, we think that LDL is bad because it's delivering fat, even though it's totally important. And for some reason, we think that purely recycling that fat is the only good thing that should be occurring. But we have to take a deeper dive. It's not the presence of LDL that is bad. It's the fact that LDL oxidizes a lot easier. And because LDL oxidizes a lot easier, it has the propensity to turn sour on us really easily. I like to think of it sort of like a ticking time bomb, okay? It's kind of like a radioactive weapon. It's like LDL is this powerful little thing that has the ability to do so much good. But if it's left to its own devices and it's not scooped up fast, it can backfire and it can start to fire its radioactive energy the wrong way. So that's what we don't want. We don't want this LDL to be in a situation where it becomes oxidized. But the only reason that that LDL would ever become oxidized is if we were unhealthy to begin with, if we had an influx of sugar that would cause oxidation. LDL, unless acted upon by an unbalanced source, is not going to cause a lot of problems. In fact, it's going to do more good than it's going to do bad. Here's the problem with LDL though. There's different particle sizes and they do different things within the body. And when we're on a ketogenic diet, we're going to have more of this. And because we have more of this, the impact could be significantly more, either good or bad. See, we have particle A and particle B type LDL cholesterols. Particle A are big and fluffy. Okay, they're like clouds. They float and they travel along and they deliver nutrients and they deliver copious amounts of fat-soluble antioxidants to the cell. That is awesome. That's what we want. And the cool thing is, because they're carrying so much in the way of antioxidants, they have the ability to fight off the free radicals that would normally oxidize it. So think of like plutonium, this radioactive thing that is encapsulated by a group of soldiers protecting it to make sure that it never gets blown up and never activates, never detonates, and never blows up half the world. Okay? That's what makes it so good. Particle A is good. Particle B is small and dense, and it's so small and dense that it doesn't have room to carry a lot of nutrients or a lot of antioxidants. It's like a super, super packed bus that has so many people on it that the nutrients can't get on it. So what does that do? Well, in the analogy of the radioactive weapon or the plutonium, that's like plutonium that's just sitting out there in the middle of an intersection waiting for a car to hit it and detonate it. Okay? That's all that we're talking about. Now, I'm not a nuclear physicist, so my analogy might be off, but you get the gist. Now, what ends up happening with these small particles, in addition to being able to get oxidized super easily, because they're small, they can travel into the little gaps in what's called the endothelial layer of the artery. In the artery, it's actually alive, okay? And it has little cells, it has little layers. And if things can get wedged in there, it can cause issues. And these little teeny pattern B LDLs are so small, they can fit in the gaps. And then they fit in the gaps just like dirt will get in your pores or just like dirt will get in a crease in your neck. And you have to scrub it and you have to clean it. And if it doesn't just get cleaned up and it just sits there, then any sugar you're consuming or any oxidative stress is going to come in there and it's going to oxidize it and you're going to have an issue. And that's why you get inflammation in the artery. So that's where the connection between LDL and arterial plaque comes in. It's all about the small particle LDL. So now let's bridge this all together with ketosis. There are a ton of studies, and studies that are published in very reputable journals. I'm talking about the Journal of Lipids and also the Archives of Internal Medicine that have found that the ketogenic diet dramatically increases the amount of pattern A LDL and decreases the amount of pattern B. So although you're going to see an increase overall in your LDL, the ratio is going to change. You're going to have more of the pattern A. So when your doctor's telling you, hey, your LDL cholesterol is going up and your HDL cholesterol is going up, whatever you're doing, eating those fats, it's bad, bad, bad. Okay, that's all based on the Newtonian physics of the 1920s that built the AMJ, built the American Medical Journal. Okay, these doctors aren't programmed to treat you. They're programmed to diagnose and give you a drug based on Newtonian physics. Okay, this isn't how the world works. When we look at what's really happening, you're in a situation where you're shifting gears and the cholesterol is totally different. So you're not clogging your arteries, you're delivering more fats, which is exactly what we're trying to do on a ketogenic diet. So we just have to be logical about it. We're delivering fats, we're delivering fat-soluble nutrients. Of course, your fat-soluble delivery mechanisms are going to increase. But you know what does actually cause an increase in the wrong kind of cholesterol? What does increase pattern A? Good old-fashioned carbs. At least excess amounts of them. I'm not totally anti-carb, but if we have copious amounts of carbs, they are shown to promote the transition from pattern A LDLs over to pattern B. So they take good, fluffy cholesterol that's doing a good thing, and they turn it sour, and they turn it bad. And it all has to do with the fact that it's triggering inflammation. And that's a topic for another day. But ketosis is a delicate balance. It's a delicate balance of the right kinds of fats, the right kinds of proteins, and making sure that your macros are just where they need to be. So that's exactly why we created Keto Balance here at PuraTHRIVE. We wanted to make sure that we were able to give everyone what they needed to sustain the ketogenic lifestyle for a long period of time without hitting those plateaus, without hitting the keto wall, and making sure that they can always feel and look their best. So please click on the link and check out Keto Balance so that you can be your best self today and forever. We'll see you there.